How did you guys find the shows?
Dude, it was crazy because it's like, I think, after we did the America shows, we obviously with an American crowd, right? Like we knew they were going to be rowdy because they're fucking Americans,
Yeah.
right?
The Americans will cheer for anything.
They will cheer for literally anything. And they did. And so like, our producers were saying like, especially up in like Scandinavia, but a lot of parts of Europe, they might be a little more reserved. So it might be some quieter shows. So you're going to maybe require a little bit more riling up of the crowd to really get them into the mood. But no, I think just our fans are just fucking wild. Anywhere in the world, because
so we were warned before by our like tour staff that we should expect kind of more reserved crowd, especially in like the Scandinavian countries where they have this kind of like philosophy. I can't remember. I think it's like the law of Jante or something, where it's kind of like they have to think that they're not better than anyone and be like
humble, right?
Be very humble. There were some of the the European crowd, we did not have a single quiet crowd.
No,
everyone was
like on average. I think they were louder than the Americans.
Yeah, actually, sorry, Americans. Actually, I think the Europeans were actually louder. I don't know if it's just because they had like one night just to really let loose and let go.
I think it's because in America you have such a vast choice of options as like somebody who's into more niche hobbies like anime or gaming to kind of have opportunities to really express yourself, go to events with like-minded people and feel like you're in a comfortable space to be able to like express and go kind of a little wild. And I think going to Europe and kind of bringing this show format and what we talk about, we have like a fucking 10-minute segment on hentai. Like I think like no other show is doing that, obviously, in Scandinavia and Europe, right? So I think there's like, it's kind of like a fun vibe where it's like, fuck yeah, I can just fucking like let loose and watch a show from something I would never get to watch.
I think it's also due to the fact that, I think the main consensus is like, there's always like tours and like shows and stuff like that in America, right? Because that's like the hub to do shows like that. And very rarely do like YouTubers or like any kind of like stage shows actually do tours in Europe. So like the few times that it does happen, everyone gets hyped up. I know, because it's exactly the same in Australia,
right?
Like every time I see like a famous artist that's doing like a world tour and they're not stopping in Australia, I'm just like, what the fuck? This is bullshit. But when they do come to Australia, it is hype as shit. So I totally get it.
Yeah, I mean, I also think so there's a big drinking culture in Europe as well.
Yes.
And one thing I found funny was when we performed in the Apollo in England, it was the only venue we've ever done where it was contractual for us to take a 20-minute intermission. And you might be wondering, why do we need to take a 20-minute intermission? What's up with that? Why is it on the contract? Well, it's so that people can go out and buy drinks. That is the most British thing I've ever heard in my life. No, guys, you need to stop the show so people can get more fucking pissed. Yeah. They need some time to top up.
Yeah, not even Ireland did that.
Yeah, not even Ireland did that. Yeah.
But Ireland, they preloaded, so everyone would come in. I saw
the dude in the VIP with the 4 Guinnesses.
This one dude rocks up with 4 Guinnesses, sits down, and he's like, "I'm ready."
Yeah, I asked, "Are they for your mates?" He's like, "No, for me." And I was like, "Damn, boy's committed." He's timed it out. He's got like the speed run stretch
like every 30 minutes.
Yeah. He had like 2 in the VIP, and then during VIP he went out and got 4. So he had 6 Guinnesses throughout the entire show.
He did it so elegantly too. I remember he asked his question, and then the moment he was finished, he was like, "All right, I'm gonna head out."
Yeah.
What do you think was the rowdiest crowd of all of them? I think also it does what I realize is that absolutely the day of the week very much determines sometimes.
Matters.
If it's a Saturday, obviously it's gonna be a lot louder, and if it's a Monday, it's gonna be a lot quieter. But you can still get
I think the one that sticks out to me the most was probably the Germany show.
Germans were rare.
I think the one
very rowdy.
I think the one in London obviously had an advantage because it was the biggest show we'd ever done by 1,000, by about 1,500 people, I think. But I think in terms of like average person being the loudest, it's probably the Germans.
Yeah, so loud.
I think Rotterdam was pretty damn loud.
No, Amsterdam was loud.
Amsterdam was also loud.
That's Sweden. They were all
fucking loud.
They were very loud.
Like we said, we didn't have a quiet show. There was no quiet show. There was loud or fucking you got like you lost your hearing at the end of the show. You know, that was kind of it. But one thing I liked about our show is that, you know, we do this show and we get to learn a little bit about our countries as well. And I think Alex, our content producer, killed it because of the first game. We had a bunch of questions related
so if
to that country.
You've seen the Trash Taste America tour that we released, it's kind of a similar format, but we changed the first game to kind of focus more on the place we were visiting.
The country that we're in. And we found out what people got patriotic about.
Really passionate
about. The biggest cheer in the German show was finding out that they have a childhood mascot, which is like a depressed piece of bread. Do you guys remember this?
Yeah, I remember this. They lost it. They went wild.
What was it? Burnt dust brought or something?
Yeah, burnt dust brought or something like that.
Yeah.
They lost it. They fucking lost it.
Yeah, they were like, oh my god, it's burnt!
I've never seen people react to a childhood mascot that violently.
I've never seen a childhood mascot that looks like this as well. And of course, it's German, so of course it's a piece of bread.
You found it?
Yeah, you found it? Yeah.
It looks so fucked up, doesn't it?
It's so hideous. It's the most German-looking cartoon character ever.
Yeah.
I remember this whenever I was... Yeah, look at this.
Yeah, look at that.
It's fucking hideous.
What a fucking nightmare.
It's like, I remember that because I used to go to... When I was growing up, my dad worked in Germany a lot, so I'd go to Germany all the time. And I remember whenever we used to go to any of the like middle European countries, they always had the fucking ugliest cartoons. Always the ugliest cartoons. And look at this fucking horrific thing. Like, could you imagine looking at this and be like, yes, my childhood. The bread with warts.
I just
The
like
bread with warts and a unibrow.
the way that
God,
they
it's
designed
horrific.
him with like
it's
the
so
most
horrific.
atrocious eye bags possible.
God.
This is a man who's watched NTR and has lived to see another day, you know?
Jesus.
Look at that shit. Yeah.
So gross.
And I found out, you know, as a Brit, what us Brits get the most patriotic about. It's not football. It's not football.
Yeah.
It's when Henry the Hoover got shown on screen and got a standing ovation.
Give a jacket.
Yeah.
Dude. Henry the Hoover was
what was your reaction to seeing did you even know what Henry was?
No.
Like when it came up?
No, I didn't. Like, for one, I'd never seen it before. I think I said in the show, it looks like the fucking thing in Teletubbies that feeds them the custard, you know?
Oh, Nunu?
Yeah, Nunu. It looks like Nunu.
UK icon.
Yeah.
But then it was fucking wild because that night when we got back to the hotel, there was a dude vacuuming and it was fucking Henry. And it had the name Henry on it. And I'm just like, oh my God,
So
this is actually everywhere.
If you want a vacuum that doesn't break, you gotta get the Henry one.
Right.
Yeah, they're like notorious for being like very...
Did you guys have a Henry while you were living in?
Yeah.
I did, but then you kind of... this is a classic video.
That's so good.
I love this fucking video. It's such a good video. They're like notorious for like being very good, but they often lose suction after a while.
Yeah,
It's just the one
but
that-
it's the one Hoover you normally see in every like establishment has one. Most uni halls have one because it's like pretty cheap compared to like other vacuum cleaners as well. And I didn't realize this until living outside of the UK that I've only seen it in the UK.
Yeah.
And you don't notice it, but once you point it out, you realize, you see Henry everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Because even like there was a lot of people who went to our show who flew in from abroad or something, and they were like, I was so confused. And then I saw so many posts and replies to my Twitter thread being like, holy shit, I see Henry in my fucking hotel. Oh my God, he's right there.
It follows me.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Look at all the colors
Yeah.
you can get.
they got Charles as well and
Yeah.
George.
Is it Hetty? His wife? Hetty,
What an awful... Hetty is
Ain't
such
no
a shit name. They couldn't think of a better name.
Oh my God.
Got the whole
James.
family. Oh, there is a Harry. Oh my God, I didn't know.
Dude, so I was right.
Yeah, so
You only ever see the red one, though.
yeah, you only see the red one. So so the question was on the stage of the show.
Yeah.
What was the name of this British icon?
Yeah.
And for some reason, Joey answers Harry.
Yeah.
So I didn't know there was a Harry on there.
technically, I got it right.
No, you said Norman.
I was
yeah.
going to say Harry, but I was like, no, that's dumb.
Yeah,
my God.
and we like it's so weird. Finding out about other different cultures as well. We found out that the Dutch have like their own ticks. They're like they. Like
for schools,
in school, right? They,
It's like-
you know,
it's
the
like this.
teachers don't do like this. Got a fucking massive cheer, but yeah, I didn't know they don't have their own like a tick is too much effort. Apparently,
No, it's too little.
it's too little effort.
Too
They,
little
they
effort.
needed
They have this
to.
really extravagant swirl.
It's like
Yeah, yeah.
hieroglyphics.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like a really fancy end sign.
It's like
Yeah.
what? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what the exact name of it was. But then we also found out about the that's it.
That's
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah,
The flourish
of approval.
Wow, that's such a nice name.
Yeah.
Flourish of approval. God damn.
Yeah, I don't know how this became a thing, but that's very fancy and unlocked a lot of cool memories.
I love how you Google Dutch tick alternative and it came up with pets. I just don't like the normal ticks. I want alternative ticks.
I want those Dutch ticks.
Also, Dutch people, what the fuck is up with your toilets? Why? Do
Oh
you-
my god! Yeah,
Yeah.
those
I didn't come across the Dutch toilet.
there was one at the venue.
Yeah.
What's the Dutch toilet?
Okay, so you know how normally, that one.
Yeah, the one on
So
the left.
you know how normally the bowl is kind of
All
like
water?
right, the water bowl is
the
right
fuck?
underneath your ass,
Yeah.
right? For
Oh,
most
I have
normal
seen
toilets.
these before.
Yeah,
Dutch
yeah.
toilets, for some reason, it's like right in front of you, like this.
Yeah.
So it's just like a little water slide for your shit.
Yeah,
Is
so
that like a splashback countermeasure?
no. You get splashback because from the shit because the ceramic is so close to your ass that you sometimes you get fucking splashback if it's not.
way.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
And then
doesn't
when you go to
seem right.
wipe your ass, you have to like make eye contact with your shit because it's just right here.
Yeah,
I'm
and
just
you
like,
have
cool,
to
thanks.
risk.
Are you above seeing your own shit, Joey?
You know what? I'm good. I don't need it. I don't need to check it.
I want to look at it.
I don't want to look at it.
I want to see if it's
I don't-
healthy.
no.
I wanna-
Yeah, so I saw this. I was like, what the fuck? Why do you
Yeah,
want
why?
to inspect your shit? And is it to you inspect your shit?
sometimes
Dutch
you,
love looking at their
sometimes
own
you need to
shit.
see it. You got to see it.
I mean, sure, but
Too quick are we to not appreciate the wonders of plumbing and flush it away without
I
a second
usually
thought.
can gauge if my shit is good while it's coming out. You know? I don't need to see it. Like, sometimes when it's
okay.
coming out, you're like, oh, this is a bad one. I don't even need to see it. I know that's a bad one.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's so clean, just swish, doesn't even touch the rim.